This is my game, Stars in Space, and this is a walkthrough of how to play the game. So initially we start with a board that looks like this. It has squares going across and up in a block format, and then a basket in the middle. The pieces needed for this game are a 6-sided dice and 3 decks of cards, the player pieces, as well as the star, satellite, and asteroid pieces. Now, the first thing that one needs to do in order to play the game is to draw cards to determine whether you are a human or an alien. This is not communicated to other players, it's just something that a player will know, and then the card can be put away. The dice is then rolled to decide the location of the stars on the board. Players then take turns rolling their dice with the aim to move across the board and try and reach the most stars. Now, when a player reaches a star, they must then complete a challenge card. If they complete what the challenge asks, then they get to keep the star and can take that star for themselves. If they fail the challenge, they don't get to keep the star and have to move on. Now, on their turn, players can move towards the center of the board and deposit stars in the basket at any point that they may choose to in the game. Now, the round ends when a player draws a black card from the challenge card deck. So, after we get to the 4th round, where a black card is drawn, this then adds new things into the game. So, what happens is that we have the introduction of power cards represented by asteroids on the board and information cards represented by satellites. The dice are rolled again to determine where these will fall on the board, and players essentially do the same thing they do with the stars, where they attempt to make it to those points, and if they complete a challenge card, they get to take a card in relation to the asteroids and satellites. So the asteroid cards, which are the power cards, will allow extra skills for the players, different things that they can do in the game. Maybe they get an extra roll of the dice, maybe it's an immunity card, maybe it's a skip a challenge card. And then the information cards, which are the ones that stand in for the satellites, they give information on secrets of the board. So this might be being able to find out if another player is a human or an alien. It might be finding out what the next challenge card is, and so on and so forth. Now, the round, as previously stated, ends when a black card is drawn. Now, when we get to round 8 and a black card is drawn, this is what ends the game. So at that point, at the end of round 8, when the black card is drawn, players can then count how many of their coloured star is in the basket. And then at that point, everybody reveals if they were a human or an alien, and then whichever team has the most stars put together. So if you and someone else was an alien, you would pull your stars together, and if you had the most, you would win. And that's how you play my game.